I know it's been a long time since I made a video. I'm supposed to be doing it daily, but I haven't. Anyways, outside of that, just waking up on a Friday, don't have to go to work till later, so this is the perfect time to put out a video right before we have the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight coming up tomorrow. Here's what I wanted to say. Tyson Fury, bad for boxing. That's right. I'm saying it right now. Tyson Fury winning this fight is just as bad as Deontay Wilder winning it, to all the people who say Deontay Wilder is bad for boxing. What I mean by that is there's a lot of people critical over Deontay Wilder because he will not fight Anthony Joshua, or so that it appears he will not fight Anthony Joshua. LWBC will try to make you believe that it's Joshua running, but after facts came out, Lou DiBella getting fired because he was trying to set up the deal. There's too many facts showing you that Deontay Wilder does not want to fight AJ, okay? However, Tyson Fury, in a recent interview he did, said to BT Sports he will not fight Anthony Joshua. He's not going to do it. He doesn't see the point in it. If he wins this fight, he's locked up to fight Deontay Wilder again, win, lose, or draw. And after Deontay Wilder's done, he's looking to do a crossover boxing match with a UFC champion. They asked him about AJ. He said there's no point in fighting AJ. He lost to a little short dude. Might have said a little short fat fuck. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said he lost to a little short fat guy. And because of that, he is no longer interested in fighting Anthony Joshua, no matter what Anthony Joshua does. Anthony Joshua is no longer the undefeated, and he's no longer in the talks to be the number one heavyweight out there. I agree with part of that. When Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz, the talks of him being the number one heavyweight out there went out the window because he lost. However, whether you like Deontay Wilder's record or not, whether you feel Tyson Fury only had a couple of good wins or not, both men remained undefeated. Tyson Fury is the true champion, the only champion to win a non-vacated title. What I mean by that is, and I'll say this again for the LDBCs who want to correct me, Deontay Wilder's belt was not won off the champion. It was won off Bermane Stiverne, who won it from a vacated title match. Stiverne lost in his first title defense against Deontay Wilder, an unproven champion. He won a paper title. Klitschko held the belt for 10 years. For 10 years, he dominated the heavyweight division outside of the WBC belt, which his brother had. They would never fight each other, which you got to understand. They're brothers. They don't want to fight. They shouldn't have to fight. So with that being said, dominated for 10 years straight, beat everybody. They called it the boring era of boxing. Why? We could get into that in a little while or in another video. However, it wasn't boring. It's the fact that Klitschko was so much better than his opponents. The fights looked boring because it wasn't even a competition. And then here comes the wild card. Here comes the first person to get in Dr. Stillhammer's head, play psychological warfare with him and beat him before the fight and beat him in the fight. Won all the titles. Due to some selective words that he said, he got stripped of, I believe it was the IBF title. I think that's the first one he got stripped of. And then he popped top for cocaine and blah, 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 according to UCAD. And he was out for 2.5 years. I know he went to court, fought it, and stuff like that, and now he's back. So he won that belt. All the belts AJ collected and now has again, after losing to Andy Ruiz, regained his titles, were also like Deontay Wilder. He beat people who won them off of vacated titles. Charles Martin, for example, a vacated title. Charles Martin lost in his defense to AJ, which I think Charles Martin gets a bad rap. I don't think he's that bad. He lost to Old Nacky after being out the ring for what, a year and a half after his loss to AJ, and damn near beat him in the second half of the fight when the ring rust went off. If him and Old Nacky were to fight again, I believe Charles Martin would beat Old Nacky. A lot of people can hate on Charles Martin. I don't think he's that bad. He's actually going to be on the undercard for the Fury Deontay Wilder fight, so I'm interested to see what he does there. But moving on, every belt AJ won because Tyson Fury vacated them all. There's only one real true heavyweight champion in boxing today, and that's Tyson Fury, because he never lost. However, Deontay Wilder has the chance to upset that. And I do believe in this rematch. Now, I'm not going to do my prediction like I said I was until today when they walk across the stage and I can see what their weight looks like. Look for my video to drop late tonight or early tomorrow morning on a really breakdown of what both fighters need to do. And some tricks I could see Deontay Wilder doing that would really throw Fury off, being that Deontay Wilder's right hand is so powerful. So again, if Wilder beats Fury, I true in my heart of hearts have Deontay Wilder is the man. He is the man to beat. It doesn't matter that AJ has more titles, because those titles AJ has would have never gone to AJ had Tyson Fury not gone out of boxing. Therefore, the lineal champion, the man who already won the Ring Magazine belt, is the true king. He's the king. And if the Gypsy King falls, Deontay Wilder is now the king. When it comes to fighting, there's an A side and a B side. And this is the argument that always goes on. Well, if Wilder beats Fury, then he's the A side. No, he's not. The A and B side has nothing to do with who's the better fighter. What the A and B side has to do with is he who puts the most asses in the seats. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury failed to do the numbers that AJ does alone. Now, this rematch right here may do big numbers. It might not. The first time they fought, it didn't do that well. So, with all the TV promotions that they're getting, with ESPN pushing it, with Fox pushing it this time around, it might do better numbers. I don't know. I know they're pushing it a lot harder, so we shall see what they actually do. But when it comes to A and B side, it's who brings the most money to the table, and that by far is AJ when it comes to heavyweights. The only person that can compete with AJ in money is Canelo Alvarez, who's not even a heavyweight. Might be a light heavyweight if he chooses to go up there, but he's not a heavyweight. So, no matter what, AJ is the A side. With that being said, if AJ truly wants Tyson Fury in the ring or Deontay Wilder in the ring, he's going to have to lower his A status to be an even status. Or if he really wants them, then who cares? At the end of the day, AJ, you done made more money than you'll ever go broke with. Every fight you do is going to sell out. So take the gamble. You know these guys don't want to fight you. Tyson Fury's now on record saying that you're not worthy to fight him. You lost to Andy Ruiz, although we don't know what Andy Ruiz would do against Wilder or Fury. We could speculate that Fury would dance circles around him. We could speculate that Andy Ruiz would run into a right hand against Deontay Wilder and lose. We could speculate that, but we don't know what would happen until one of those two guys fight Ruiz. So, again, AJ, if you really want to fight them, give them 60%, you take 40%, get them in the ring, beat them if you can beat them, and then never give them another shot. Never. Put in the contract that if there is a rematch clause, that the next time around, you get the 60-40 split, they don't, whoop their ass both times, and never give them another match again. No matter if they come back, no matter if they look good, fuck them. This is their one and only, well, probably 2 paydays, and that's it. Their career is done. You cemented your legacy. You've proven that you're better, but this time, you're going to have to drop your A status and let them be the A status, because they're not going to fight you unless you pay them more than what you're getting paid. Take the gamble. Who cares? You're already rich. Give them their payday. Their one payday if you can win. And then move on. And then it's over. Then there's nothing to argue about. But until AJ fights Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, the winner, he will never be the man of the division. Therefore, like I said, he needs to drop and humble himself and just take the loss financially, not in the ring. Take the short-term financial loss, because what you will gain by giving them more money is way more than what you'll lose by not fighting them. I mean, you'll lose more by not fighting them than the money that you'll lose in the one fight where they made more money. It's just, that's the bottom line. Also, Tyson Fury said that he's looking at retiring. I believe he said he had a 3-fight contract, which means Wilder, and then one more. And it sounded like he wanted to fight a UFC guy, and then he's done with boxing. So again, I will say, hearing what Tyson Fury's saying, I believe Tyson Fury is worse for boxing than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's not over here talking about he's going to fight MMA fighters in a hybrid match, which is stupid to begin with. If you're going to fight a UFC fighter, fight him in UFC. The UFC guy is not telling you you can't punch. You're telling them you can't grapple, you can't choke, you can't break, you can't kick. You're limiting them, which means you're scared of them. You're looking real pussy when you do that. Moving on. My opinion, Deontay Wilder is better for boxing to win because there is a possibility that we can get Deontay Wilder and AJ. There is no possibility that Fury is going to fight AJ because he's already said it. He's not going to do it. He doesn't see the point in it. AJ's already been beat by a lesser fighter who's not even qualified to be up there with him, which I disagree with. But those are his words. So by that alone, I would rather see Deontay Wilder win because at least then there is no more dispute. And regardless, to be honest with y'all, the thing about boxing is there's so many, they always say styles makes fights. That's why I love Mayweather, because with Mayweather, he adapted to everything. A true master, there is no style that he cannot adapt to. But some people fall into the trap of where they cannot adapt. They cannot change the way they fight. Therefore, certain styles are bad matchups for that style. That could be the thing with AJ, Fury, Wilder. We don't know. We know AJ doesn't have the best of chins. We know he's much slower than Fury. Even whenever he was moving around the ring, running from Andy Ruiz, looking like he was void of power, he was still much slower in his movements than Tyson Fury is, outweighing him by 15, 20 pounds. So with that being said, Fury could go on to beat Wilder, okay? Just stay with me. Then AJ, if he could get Fury in the ring, even though I don't believe it would happen, AJ could beat Fury, okay? Now, AJ's number one. But that doesn't mean AJ could beat Wilder. It might be one of them things where just Wilder can beat AJ, Fury can beat Wilder, AJ can beat Fury. It might just be that way. We don't know. So what I'm trying to get to is, even if Fury beats Wilder and then AJ and Fury fight, I would still want to see Wilder and AJ. Or any way that you want to do the mix, I still want to see them. But at the end of the day, I'm going to bring them up because the best heavyweight, the most improved heavyweight out there is the one man that nobody wants to fucking fight. And that's Dillian White. I think Dillian White dusted them all. This Dillian White today, I think he beats all of them. And we're going to see what he does against Povetkin. But to me, the win against Povetkin doesn't mean that much because we're slowly watching Povetkin's age catch up to him. We saw Michael Hunter pretty much put speed on Povetkin and, in my opinion, won the fight. You'd have to go. I did the live commentary during it. You could look at my scorecard, but I had Michael Hunter winning. I thought he got robbed with the draw, but at the same time, Michael Hunter's not going to last in the heavyweights against the big men. He's going to get floored. His whole run out fast blitz isn't going to work against guys who are younger like Fury, Wilder, AJ, Parker, Dillian White, who can keep up with his speed. They're not going to get blitzed like that. So with a guy like Michael Hunter beating Povetkin, in my opinion, not getting the draw, but actually beating him, I don't think Povetkin has much left in the tank. So about 3-4 years ago, I was talking about Povetkin being a great fighter, and he's still a great fighter. He'll go down with the greats. He's a very good fighter. Maybe he won't go down with the greats because, he fell short with the title fights. But regardless of that, he will always be known as a good fighter. However, this isn't the Povetkin 3-4 years ago. This is the Povetkin that's starting to look aged, and it's starting to look like there's a lot of chinks in his armor. He's starting to look like he's slowed down a lot, starting to look like he can get winded. And off of that alone, I don't give this win that Dillian Whyte's going to have, if he wins against Povetkin, as much credit as I would have if he would have fought him 3 or 4 years ago. Yes, it's a good name to have on your record, but the Povetkin here today, I no longer see him as an elite fighter. He's still really good. He's an A fighter. He's still an A fighter. I believe Povetkin would be many B fighters, but he's like an A minus. That's the best way I can describe it. So, assuming Dillian Whyte comes through and beats whether Povetkin, I believe truthfully that Dillian Whyte beats the 3 of them. That's how I see it. I think AJ, no matter how AJ fights him, he's going to get floored. And I don't think AJ is going to floor Dillian Whyte now. The only way I see AJ beating Dillian Whyte is if he can stretch out the fight and put it on him around the 9th or 12th round and maybe beat him due to endurance issues or stamina issues, if you want to say. And I don't know though. This is why I'm waiting for the scale. And I know I'm bouncing around like somebody with ADD, but Wilder's talking about he's walking around at 230, and I've been saying all along he needs to be heavier. And what did we see when he came in his 220s against Brazil? A devastating knockout, maybe one of his hardest knockouts. I mean, I guess you could say Spilka was a good one, but at the same time, Spilka's been knocked out a lot, and his chin's not really that durable. I mean, look at what Chisora did to him, and that should be a Spilka in his prime age now, because, you know, your early to mid 30s nowadays for all athletes across the board seems to be the prime due to nutrition, better supplements, vitamins, etc. Really, we're seeing guys hit their primes much later than we used to, where a guy 26 was in his prime and by 30 he was old. Now we're seeing guys 30 to 36 in their prime, and then by 40 they're old. So again, Spilka should have had been much better when he fought Chisora and devastated. So in my opinion, I think the best knockout we saw from Deontay Wilder thus far was against Brazil. And even whenever he fought Ortiz this last time, he was a little bit heavier. I think he was like 219, which is still him going up in weight. Wilder has a very fast metabolism. You could tell by how lean he is all the time, doesn't carry a lot of body fat. And, you know, I don't want him to get too big, but I think, like I said before, in between that 230 to 240 marker with Wilder is very good, because with Wilder, you want to keep him sleek enough to where he doesn't lose speed, because Wilder's thing is he's very fast. People overlook his speed. And the way that he can get across the ring, I've compared it to like a 100-meter dash or a 40-yard dash in football. He goes across that ring very quickly, and you don't want to get him too heavy to where he loses foot speed. But at the same time, you want him bigger so he can absorb more damage and he doesn't get bodied around the ring like he did in the first time against Fury. So, I don't know. I think a 230 to 240 Wilder is what we need to see. And with that type of power and that much more weight coming behind it without any loss of speed, that's a deadly puncher. Is he the hardest hitter of all time? I highly doubt it. But he definitely can bang. There's no questioning that. According to David Hay, he's the hardest person that's ever punched him. I don't know. I've never been hit by Wilder, so I can't really judge how hard he can hit. Outside of that, let me get back to the point of this. I want, and y'all hear it right now, me saying this. Initially, I wanted Tyson Fury to win because I saw a big UK fight. I saw finally we'll get another undisputed. Hasn't been one since Lennox Lewis, and we'll get that. But after Fury saying that he's only got 3 fights left in him, and then he's probably going to quit, which is going to be Wilder, somebody from the UFC, I do not want to see Fury win, because we already know AJ will never get a fight with Fury. Fury will never fight him. Obviously, he's scared of him. So I would rather see Deontay Wilder win off of that alone, because at least with Deontay Wilder, there's a chance that there'll be one face, one name. So that's my 2 cents. That's my 20 minutes. I'm cashing out now. Thank y'all for staying with the ramble. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Can't wait for the fight tomorrow. Can't wait for the weigh-ins tonight. And good luck to both men. Y'all heard it here first, though. I am actually pulling for Deontay Wilder, whereas in the first fight I wanted Fury to win. This time around, off of what Fury has said, Deontay Wilder is who I want to win. And I do the breakdown and tell y'all the truth. Y'all heard me leading up to this fight. I think there's a good chance that Deontay Wilder knocks Tyson Fury out this fight. Thank y'all again for watching.